What's going on, everybody? Name's KGOKev, as you probably know. Here with a short vid to give a little rundown on some of the new YttD news and some of my thoughts on everything. One of the main things to note is that, YttD is getting an official Steam release. There's a link and page and everything I'll include in the description. Not only is it releasing on Steam, it will also be using VGPerson's fan translation, aka the one we've all been using, which means VGPerson's fan translation is now considered the official YttD translation, which is flippin' fantastic. Shoutouts to VGPerson for the big win. Thank you again for all your hard work. So yeah, guys, YttD coming to Steam is really cool, and also really good for a lot of reasons. It's a big deal, actually. For starters, it will give more attention to the game and get more people in the fandom. Steam will push the game and recommend it to people that enjoy games similar to YttD. People coming off of playthroughs of other visual novels like Danganronpa, or RPG Maker type games like Amori or Eve could get recommended the game. Currently, it seems most people get into the game through word of mouth from fans of other visual novels, or by being a fan of YouTubers like Johnny Awesome, Weeby News, Manly Badass Hero, etc., who, do all kinds of games. Not many people actively seek out games on places outside of Steam. They like to stick to something familiar or like in their comfort zone. So it being on Steam will help not only through word of mouth, but also for those kinds of people who don't go outside of mainstream sources for their games. There's also people like YouTubers and journalists that cover indie games and new games that release on Steam. Anything that helps YttD get exposure or can lead to more eyes on it is a good thing. There's still a huge amount of, for example, like Danganronpa fans who have never heard of YttD. It's still very much a niche game that, with all this, will gain more exposure and, in turn, more success. This will also bring back people that played the game before back into the fandom, due to it being relevant again to a new audience, like the Minecraft resurgence in 2019. Not to mention it being on Steam, the game has been confirmed to now have achievements, which a good amount of players care about, and for me, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. A lot of times, games that get re-released with achievements, like a remaster, or ones that will get, say, like trophies added later in a patch, like Metal Gear Solid 4, for example, will get old players and new players to regain interest in, replay. It will also give replay value to the game because of all the different paths and such. Like, for sure, there's gonna be achievements for things like bad endings, ones that are route-specific, character-specific stuff, and more. Bottom line, being on Steam, it's the best free media campaign for anything. It's free advertising in general, and it will also put YttD in the market for a potential console release, like games like Valhalla, One Step from Eden, and as many of you guys know, Amori. All kinds of indie games that, released on Steam first and found their way onto, say, the Switch later. It'll also probably be playable on the Steam Deck, if you are one of the people that actually have one. Also, maybe even the Island spin-off, Your Time to Shine, will be on Steam, or maybe it'll become part of the main game, akin to how Danganronpa has its Island/spin-off game modes incorporated as extra game modes. You can see on the Steam page that there's a new title screen. You'll notice that it just says Your Turn to Die. The English title isn't layered over the Japanese text of Kimigashine like in the other title screens. I can't see whether or not female Alice and Keiji are still on the title screen because Sara's giant head is obscuring them. We can reasonably assume Keiji's still on there, but since the title screen has been updated to just have the Your Turn to Die text, perhaps they've also updated it to have male Alice on there instead of the female one. As most of you guys probably know too, the title screen changes every time there's a new update/chapter released. Possible it's a new title to celebrate the Steam release, or maybe this is the new title screen for the new chapter, aka new chapter underway to be released sometime soon, perhaps? Possibly a joint same-time release for both the English and Japanese versions of the game? I'm thinking they may try to tie in the release of the final chapter to the Steam release of the game. It would make sense to release YttD on Steam as a full completed game. Either way, we'll certainly see for sure. VGPerson's mentioned in their tweet that the Steam release will have free character profile DLC. It'll have achievements as well, and that the final part will come to Steam first, and then released for free after. The free version will still be available on VGPerson's website, but basically if you want to play the final chapter early and also send money Nankidai and VGPerson's way for all their hard work, you'll have the ability to. For the free character profile DLC, they have an image included of Ranmaru that looks like a scan from the exclusive art book. This means new art, details and info on characters we haven't seen before, and also more pictures of Mai Saruki. If Ranmaru is on there, all the dummies and floor masters will probably be included. Guess the question is if it'll include people like Megumi and Kugi, or hell, Memory Dance Girl would be kinda cool to see as well. Also potentially a second Your Turn to Die art book with more stuff sometime in the future. They also have some badges you can order featuring the characters available on the online store. With the funds and new popularity from the Steam release, this will mean more merchandise. There could be more DLC stuff, Your Time to Shine updates could come out faster with all the new funds, and yeah, the new financial influx could lead to improvements to the game, like upscaling the graphics or adding more CG RPGs, and just things of that nature. And of course, it can also fund a new project from non-Kidai after Your Turn to Die is complete. Getting on Steam as well gives the game more of a sense of authenticity. Most free games are not very good. Most people, I think, come to expect that. You really would not expect something as polished and of quality as Your Turn to Die as something you can just play in your browser. Like, you can play Your Turn to Die in your browser. You can also play some crappy Mario X Sonic hentai game in your browser. You know, I'm pretty sure they're a little different. So, even though Your Turn to Die is an exception to like free games and such, there are still some folks who will look down on free games or lump them all together. So now it'll be able to be considered on the same leagues as others in the genre, like Ace Attorney, Zero Escape, you know, and a quote-unquote proper game in a lot of people's eyes. All this also gives VGPersons more exposure and validity as well. Again, it's super cool that VGPerson's writing is going to be the official translation now, you know, all the hard work paying off. This means all the names we've gotten accustomed to over the years like Sue Miley, Rio Ranger, etc., which were created by VGPerson, are now their canon names, and we don't have to potentially get used to any new names that would be made from a different translation, or have to use the Japanese names like Hoemi for Miley, which is used in the manga, or like Toto Noel for Ranger, and you know, just everything like that. Having all different names can definitely cause confusion in the fandom if everyone uses all the different ones. Some examples are like Persona 5's Protag being called Ren and Akira in different things, Yu-Gi-Oh's characters in the manga being Anzu, Janoichi, in the 4Kids anime being like Teiya, Joey Wheeler, etc. Heck, a good example is actually Danganronpa and his fan translations. Like, I was a Danganronpa fan before the game came out to the West, and I was used to calling them by their last names and other stuff used in fan translations, which then, when brought to the West, I had to do some readjusting. Funny thing is that you can tell if someone's an old school or like a new school Danganronpa fan, depending on like if they call the second game Super Danganronpa 2, or like use the term Super High School Level instead of Ultimate. Keeping VGPerson's translation going with the names that we're already familiar with is the most ideal scenario, and I'm all down for it. Also, as an aside, VGPerson's addressed the Among Us changes to the script, which you can read about. It's kind of funny in a cosmic way that Among Us literally influenced and altered the script of Your Turn to Die for all future generations of people who will play the game. So yeah, guys, Your Turn to Die being on Steam, bottom line, as we're moving into potentially the final chapter, is fantastic. It keeps the game alive, and also the franchise, rather than just ending with the final chapter or just waiting on Your Time to Shine character updates. It ensures the game stays fresh, and hell, for me, there'll be new eyes that'll check out my old videos and other people's playthroughs, for example. We'll still be able to cover YttD for years to come, basically. Also, this was all mentioned on Non-Kidai's private Fanbox stream. Fanbox is like a Japanese Patreon, which I got to watch and hang out in the chat for because I support him on there. Regardless of that, yo. For those who didn't know, he actually mentioned my name on his stream. He called me KGOKev-san, which was pretty damn cool to hear. I did like a double take and everything.
なのでビデオメッセージね、KGOKev さん。
This was in regards to the message he recorded for our anniversary video. You know, the secret's out. I can talk about who we got for the vid now, like it's No Way Home, and you know, like yeah, we got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in our anniversary video. Okay, yeah, he said my name in regards to the video message he sent me, and of course mentioned VGPerson's name as well for the Steam release news. With all that said, things are looking up for Your Turn to Die, and I'm excited for what's to come. What do you guys think about everything? What do you hope to see? And, well, just any predictions you guys got? Let me know in the comments below. And, of course, remember to like and subscribe and all that jazz. This is KGOKev signing out. Stay chill, stay hydrated, have a great time zone, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out for now.